Welcome to the Get Fit Guys, quick and dirty tips to get moving and shape up. My name is Brock Armstrong and I'm the Get Fit Guy. If you search for hashtag Fitspiration on Instagram, you will literally, not figuratively, find millions of images. I just searched for it right now and I got 18,520,901 hits, which is 500 more than I saw 2 hours ago. All of them are photos of muscular, slim, and flexible folks, mixed in with a few jokesters and even fewer professional athletes. Many of the photos come with motivational quotes like, "Win the morning and you win the day," or "Your goals don't care about your excuses," or a long list of advice about how you too can turn your life around, often with a hefty dose of product endorsement thrown in. Now, motivation is supposed to be the point of these images. The good old "if I can do it, then so can you" idea. But do they work? Does scrolling through endless, highly curated photos of people caught at their absolute best do anything for our motivation, happiness, fitness, or mental health? Well, that is what the folks at the Shape Research Center at Flinders University aimed to find out. They asked, do these images succeed in inspiring women to exercise and live that fit life, or do they make them feel worse about themselves and their bodies? Well, you probably guessed from my tone that despite the popularity of these Fitspiration images and the assumed positive intentions of the people posting them, the researchers at Flinders University's College of Nursing and Health Sciences found their effect to be the opposite of inspirational. But it's not quite as simple as that, so let's have a closer look at this Fitspiration study, shall we? In the paper titled "The Effect of Instagram Fitspiration Images on Young Women's Mood, Body Image, and Exercise Behavior," researchers experimentally examined the effects of viewing Fitspiration images on Instagram using these criteria: body dissatisfaction, mood, and exercise behavior. Now, lead author of this study, Dr. Ivanka Pritchard, who is the co-deputy director of the Shape Research Center, told Eureka Alert, and I quote, "Close to 90% of young Australians use some form of social media, such as Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, or Snapchat. Young women's rapidly growing use of image-based platforms, such as Instagram, is of concern, given what we know about the impact of idealized imagery on body image." To get to the bottom of this phenomenon, the study looked at 108 women, ranging in age from 17 to 25. The women were randomly assigned to view images from either Fitspiration or travel inspiration, and then asked to perform some exercise or have some quiet rest time. The researchers assessed the participants' state of body dissatisfaction at baseline, following image exposure, and following a 10-minute walk or quiet rest period. Now, the results demonstrated that exposure to Fitspiration images led to significantly higher negative mood and body dissatisfaction when compared to the women being exposed to the travel inspiration images, which really isn't all that mind-blowing. We've known that fashion magazines, for example, and negative body image have been linked since about 1952, but this study went deeper and got a lot more interesting. The participants who were asked to exercise after viewing the Fitspiration images reported that they felt like they worked harder or had a higher level of perceived exertion when they were put on the researchers' treadmill. Now, even though they didn't cover more kilometers on the treadmill than the women who viewed the travel images, they still felt as if they put in more effort. So, the simple act of viewing the images meant to inspire had the opposite effect. Instead of jumping on the treadmill and ripping it up in a fit of motivated glory, the participants covered less ground and felt worse while they did it. The researchers also saw that scrolling through Fitspiration images led to significantly higher negative mood and body dissatisfaction relative to scrolling through the travel images. The participants reported feeling more drained and demoralized. But if the participants exercised after viewing the not-so-motivational after all Fitspiration images, well, they felt better and reported a reduction in the negative effects of the image exposure. Now, not too surprisingly, they all experienced improvements in mood and body image after they exercised. And I say not too surprisingly because of all the well-established and well-studied mood-boosting effects of exercise. The American Psychological Association even has a name for it, the exercise effect. James Blunfield, PhD, a clinical psychologist at Duke University, says, and I quote, "There's good epidemiological data to suggest that active people are less depressed than inactive people. And people who were active and stopped tend to be more depressed than those who maintain or initiate an exercise program." But you know what I suggest? That if the mood-boosting effect of exercise happens, whether you look at Fitspiration images or not, well, why waste this exercise effect on trying to undo the damage done by scrolling through Instagram? Why not just cut to the chase? Just go exercise. The other interesting element of this study revolves around the crux of the matter. Did the women who viewed the images change their behavior? Did they become more motivated to exercise? Well, sadly, the study authors stated that exposure to Fitspiration images did not lead to greater exercise behavior either. So, again, all those buff and well-meaning social media influencers trying to motivate us to get out there and get fit are failing. Interestingly, a 2017 paper called "The Impact of Different Forms of Fitspiration Imagery on Body Image, Mood, and Self-Objectification Among Women" found that the posts that were featuring slim and muscular models with captions suggesting that the scrollers should work harder to look like them can be particularly damaging. But the images of people actively engaging in exercise, not just flexing and posing, can be somewhat motivating. They also saw that images which depicted more diverse body types increased the viewer's self-esteem and may have had some influence on their motivation to exercise. But the researchers suggested that further study was required to be certain of that finding. So, do the Fitspiration images have no beneficial effect at all? Well, in a news release from March 2020 that goes along with this study, Dr. Ivanka Pritchard said, "When considering actual exercise behavior, there appears to be no beneficial effect. And despite their positive intentions and popularity, Fitspiration images are yet another way to make women feel worse about themselves and their bodies." Dr. Pritchard went on to say, "We now need more research to examine aspects of Fitspiration, such as focusing on body functionality and body diversity that might promote positive body image." And that's something I, for one, can't wait to see. I mean, even an old curmudgeon like me has a hard time not clicking heart or like or whatever the heck they're calling it these days on videos of humans that are truly performing at their best. I find them far more interesting than posed images that have been filtered and photoshopped into looking extraordinary. And I think it's even better if the performance is against all odds. I mean, show me a 103-year-old running on a track, or a 10-year-old girl doing Olympic lifts, or a 10,000-meter runner who wipes out but still wins the race, and I will be fired up for the rest of the day. But show me a guy with rippling abs flexing in front of a sports car, and, well, at best, I'll just keep scrolling. At worst, though, I'll sit and emotionally beat myself up for having that second beer with dinner on Friday. So let's focus on how amazing all of us are in all our glorious shapes and sizes. Fitness is defined by having the ability to do the things we enjoy, not by how we look on the internet. So here's my quick and dirty tip. Stop scrolling and let the fitspiration come from your internal desire to be more awesome tomorrow than you were yesterday. All right, thanks for listening, everybody. Next week is a holiday week, so we're going to do a reissue of one of my older podcast episodes, but you're going to love it. It's a good one. I'll be back the week after with an interview I did with a fellow named Tom Holland, who is truly inspirational, and you won't want to miss that one. Now, my name is Brock Armstrong. I'm the Get Fit Guy, asking you, what are you waiting for? Get off your phone and onto your yoga mat.